Who is going to be the first to take that trip to Goon City? Now available on ProWrestlingTees.com, the newest design for Off The Script, taking that trip to Goon City. ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script, $19.99. Get yours today on top of version 1 and version 2 of Get Off My TV. Goon City is the newest addition for the Off The Script podcast, hosted by yours truly, JD from NY. Let's all take that bus trip to Goon City collectively, man. Let's populate Goon City and show why this is the #1 fucking podcast on YouTube.com, man. That's ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script. What is going on, guys? JD from New York here. This is number 114, part number 3 for your Sunday, April 24th, 2016. This is Off The Script, the #1 fucking podcast in your subscription boxes right here on YouTube.com, man. Thank you guys so much for joining me all weekend long, where the WWE news is always hot and brought to you like it should be, man, through the eyes of fucking real WWE fans. Thank you guys so much for all the love and support this weekend. We just demolished 48,000 subscribers, man. We are on our way to that milestone of 50,000, and then the road to 100,000 begins, man. I will not stop. I will not stop fucking working my ass off. I'm gonna fucking bust my ass to the bone to get myself that fucking silver play button, man. You can guarantee that one. And how am I gonna do it? With Off The Script, man. This is going to be one of the catalysts to get me to that milestone. And it's thanks to you guys. So thank you very much for 48,000 subscribers. Got a lot of news to go over this week, man, for part 3. Some that you might know already in terms of Shane McMahon and Triple H. I have an update on what's happening with that, which could potentially lead to WWE having a major summer angle for Summerslam in Brooklyn this Summerslam in 2016. I got news on Paige. I got news, yes, goons. I have news on Bray Wyatt. You've been asking me about Bray Wyatt. I got news on Bray Wyatt. Where is he? When is he coming back? How severe is his injury? You will know everything by the end of this video. Is Jack Swagger retiring from WWE, or is he quitting WWE? Interesting news article on Jack Swagger. All that plus so much more on part 3. If you missed parts 1 and 2, links are down in the description below. Make sure you guys go check those out. I have a feeling YouTube fucked up the sub boxes yesterday for part 2. If you missed it, like I said, links are down below. We talk about Finn Balor and the Balor Club coming to WWE. If you missed part 1, obviously you can always go check that out. News on Seth Rollins and his eventual return. He's going to be returning sooner than we all think. So make sure you guys go check that out. Please follow me on Twitter, at JDfromNY206. If you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, please do so. I am very, very keen on giving you guys the news. There's nobody else except Joe Cronin that gives you the fucking news like I do. So I want you guys to be subscribed, and I want you guys to get the news the way you deserve, and that is with Off The Script. Make sure you guys subscribe. The #1 fucking source for WWE right here on this very fucking website. And ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script if you guys want to support the show and look good while doing it, man. We got you covered. ProWrestlingTees.com/Off The Script. You guys can get 4 different t-shirts. The regular Off The Script prototype t-shirt in gray. You got version 1 and version 2 of Get Off My TV, and the latest t-shirt, Who is Going to Populate Goon City? Make sure you guys go check that out. Great fucking t-shirts, man. Great designs, and it's a great way to support the fucking podcast, man. So thank you to everybody that continues to order shirts throughout the week. And finally, I do have the iTunes podcast up, and it's live. It's live on PodBean. It might take a few days to be live on iTunes, as it takes 48 hours usually for the iTunes podcast to update. But it is available on PodBean, Stitcher Radio, and AudioBoom. If you guys want to go and check that out, I highly, highly, highly recommend this podcast, man. We talk about Chyna. We talk about Finn Balor. I open up to you guys a little bit about my fucking disastrous week that I really haven't spoken of. Really haven't mentioned it to anybody, but I want you guys to go listen to that and make of it as you will. It is live right now, like I said, on PodBean, Stitcher Radio, and AudioBoom, iTunes, and you Apple guys, it should be live within a couple of days, as Apple usually takes its time with that kind of thing. But all your information, all the links for those podcasts are linked down below in the description. Now, let's get on with the news, guys. WWE planning Shane McMahon versus Triple H and Stephanie McMahon for control of Monday Night Raw. The hierarchy within WWE that booked WrestleMania is also responsible for putting the card together for Payback, which is coming our way on May 1st. Next week is going to be a big week, by the way, guys. Leading up to Payback, I'm going to have exclusive news for the pay-per-view like I did with WrestleMania. I am going to have news and rumors circulating all throughout the week about Payback. I might have match simulations for WWE 2K16, so make sure you guys stick to this channel right here for your Payback review, results, preview, predictions, all that stuff coming your way next week before the pay-per-view on Sunday. The card and the build for WrestleMania has generally been considered was considered very, very poor, and the build for Payback is now being considered much stronger than the company did for WrestleMania, which is unbelievable. I've stated that Payback looks better than WrestleMania ever could, and that's just unbelievable to me. The perception is that with Shane McMahon in charge of Monday Night Raw ever since WrestleMania, despite losing his match against The Undertaker, under the stipulation that if he lost he would not be in power, the product has been vastly superior. Shane is the reason why. While Shane McMahon's presence has certainly proved a jolt, he's under contract strictly as a performer until further notice, and not one of those pulling the strings behind the scenes. Instead, WWE appears to be giving into its fans' demands, and they're also forced to rely on their full-time roster with special attractions such as The Undertaker, Brock Lesnar, and Triple H taking hiatuses. The influx of new talent is also shaking things up, providing WWE with plenty of options as they move towards the bigger summer angles. And speaking of those major summer angles, there could be plenty to choose from in 2016. Finn Balor's arrival is all but confirmed and imminent. Lesnar will be back for a marquee matchup. There's plenty of buzz about the Bullet Club and their relationship with AJ Styles or Finn Balor. John Cena and Seth Rollins will be making their returns and will look to be inserted into a major program of their own. And then there's Shane McMahon versus Triple H and Stephanie. Shane O'Mac versus The Authority. The latest news, according to Daily Wrestling News, is that the family war was originally discussed to begin this past Monday from London, England on Raw. Ironically, there were some talks of Finn Balor making his debut as well, but both plans were postponed. Those expecting to see Triple H and Stephanie McMahon back on television may now have to wait until after Payback. The reports are that the feud between Shane and The Authority will kick off sometime in May, but no definitive date has been scheduled as of yet. The only factor that might change, that is the location of next week's Raw. The WWE's flagship show will emanate from Hartford, Connecticut, a stone's throw from the WWE headquarters in Stamford, Connecticut, and the residences of the McMahons. Shane, however, lives in New York. Hunter and Stephanie could still show up in the ring, but perhaps any angle or interaction with Shane would be pushed until May. Earlier this week, the Inquisitor reported that the Authority angle would be going away for an extended period of time. At first, it was thought that since neither Triple H or Stephanie had made a live appearance since WrestleMania, their break had already begun. But then WWE flipped the damn script. Yes, that's what it says. But the WWE flipped the damn script and put Shane McMahon in charge of Raw. None of you, actually some of you might get that. If not, you're a fucking goon. And put Shane McMahon in charge of Raw, likely with the intention of building towards a showdown with his sister and brother-in-law. Then, once Shane defeated the Authority, they would be banished from WWE and the angle would disappear. Ever since Shane McMahon made his return to the company, he has no interaction with Triple H at all on screen. Whether that was by design to save it for the summer or because rumors of backstage power struggle were real remains to be seen. But it seems definite that the two will come face to face within the next month to begin a program worthy of headlining WWE's Summerslam. The other unsolved mystery floating around, this is why the McMahon family drama is the envelope, or the other mystery floating around this McMahon family drama is the envelope and the lockbox that were alluded to during the build to WrestleMania. Vince McMahon briefly showed us the envelope the night after, but there has been no mention of it since. Tying up those loose ends may be what is best for business for WWE. And my texts go off when I'm recording, when I'm streaming. Go fuck yourself. Please, don't bother me, or I'm gonna flip the damn script! Fucking asshole. Anyway, WWE planning Shane McMahon versus Triple H. This is of no surprise to anybody. WWE needs to do something big for the summer. You know, the Bullet Club and Finn Balor and AJ Styles and Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns, that is big enough to headline anything. But if WWE wants Shane McMahon and Triple H to headline SummerSlam, that's going to be an unbelievable 1-2 combination, man. SummerSlam, listen, WWE should have absolutely, positively no excuses. SummerSlam, with everybody coming back and WWE filling their roster with all the injured reserves, John Cena, Seth Rollins, Randy Orton, Bray Wyatt, Neville, Cesaro's back, you got Finn Balor, Apollo Crews, you got Baron Corbin, Sami Zayn, Kevin Owens, you got Enzo and Cass, the Dudleys, the Vaudevillains. Look at how much talent is on the main roster. SummerSlam could realistically be one of the best pay-per-views WWE puts on ever if they play the cards right. To have a power struggle with Shane and Triple H, and then Finn Balor's going to be on the show, and then the conclusion of this Bullet Club angle, Sasha versus Charlotte. It's going to be unbelievable. This is being planned. I knew this the fucking second week Shane McMahon was being brought back to Monday Night Raw. I knew this was where WWE was going. This makes sense. And this might give you guys, I don't necessarily want it, this might give you guys what you want. A brand split. This might be a way for everybody to be on TV. Because I don't see Stephanie and Triple H leaving TV. You know, I don't see Shane McMahon leaving TV. Shane McMahon's too popular. Shane McMahon is wanted by the audience. Shane McMahon is wanted by the fans. They want to see him on Raw. Whether it's per storyline or just for the simple fact that they want to see Shane on TV. Shane McMahon will be back. He's not going anywhere. They might make everybody happy. You guys might get what you want. You might get the brand split. You know, and it's being rumored, and it has been rumored that Triple H and Stephanie will be taking over SmackDown, and Shane will run Monday Night Raw. That Vince McMahon is going to give Stephanie and Triple H full reign over SmackDown and let them run that show the way that they want. And that's going to be interesting to see if that is the road that they're taking. I don't know. I don't necessarily agree with that right now because I think WWE has a lot more other priorities, more important priorities to take care of before you actually, you know, instill us with a brand split, a roster split, a draft. They got a lot of other things that they need to take care of before that even is being discussed. Monday Night Raw being number one. You got to make Monday Night Raw first great again, and then everything else will be easy. Make Raw great again, prioritize Monday Night Raw, and then everything else will fall in line. But as of right now, this is going to be, and like I said yesterday, man, this is a very exciting time to be fans of WWE. with the influx of new talent, with the buzz Finn Balor is creating, with the buzz the Bullet Club is creating, with the potential of Roman Reigns in the heel role, with the arrival of Seth Rollins coming back from injury and John Cena coming back, where they're going to play into all this and how they're going to factor into storylines. This is a very, very exciting time for WWE. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens got their thing going on. Enzo and Cass are bringing huge momentum boosts to the tag team division. This is an exciting time to be a fan of the WWE, man. I'm fucking stoked. I'm excited. I see a lot of positivity in 2016, and this is what we all wanted, man. Shane McMahon and Triple H adding to that beginning this month, or next month, I should say. It's pretty much May anyway. Adding to this starting in May, building towards a feud, and culminating at SummerSlam. This is going to be fucking awesome, bro. I can't wait for it. Going to be very interesting to see how WWE ties up all these loose ends. Why Shane is on Raw. Why he's been running Raw after he lost to The Undertaker. Why the envelope in the lockbox hasn't been brought up. What is in the envelope and what is in the lockbox that Vince McMahon is holding over everybody's head. Going to be interesting to see. And it's going to be interesting to see WWE tie up all these loose ends. I don't want any loopholes here, man. WWE always has these fucking loopholes. These fucking holes that are just inserted everywhere into these storylines. Okay, we'll bypass that. Even though it doesn't make sense, we'll just continue on with the storyline. It's got to be fucking perfect, man. It's got to make sense. It's got to be logical. Hopefully WWE can really make all this make sense. Shane running Raw and why he lost to The Undertaker, why he's still here, why The Undertaker has just fucking disappeared off the face of the planet. You know? Hopefully WWE can do that and we get intriguing, interesting television for the remainder of the summer. Bray Wyatt. What is going on with his injury? Now it's known when he will return. A little over a week ago, Bray Wyatt suffered a legit calf injury on WWE's European tour that actually resulted in him being sent home. Fans and WWE officials feared the worst as they brought him to the back and they thought he was injured seriously after his match with Roman Reigns. Now Wyatt's status is officially known and how much time he will be missed has been revealed. The injury happened, like I said, at a house show in Milan when Wyatt was facing off with WWE World Heavyweight Champion Roman Reigns as Wyatt shoved Reigns back into the corner. He pulled up lame and immediately fell down to the mat, holding his leg. Wyatt tried to get up and continue the match, but he couldn't even stand on his own 2 feet. Trainers rushed out to the ring to attend to him. The match was done at that time. WWE then confirmed the injury later on that evening, but his status hasn't been updated until now. The Wrestling Observer is now reporting. The Wrestling Observer is now reporting. The Wrestling Observer is now reporting that Bray Wyatt ended up suffering a pulled muscle in his right leg, and it isn't overly severe. In order to make sure that it doesn't get worse, WWE is going to give him the time off that he needs. Good on them. As of right now, Wyatt is expected to miss 4 to 6 weeks. It's not known exactly when Bray will actually be able to get back in the ring, as it's already been a week since the injury happened. There is pretty much no way that he will be able to make it back in the ring by the time of Payback on May 1st. A feud has been building between the Wyatt family and the League of Nations. A feud has been building between the Wyatt family and the League of Nations. The Wyatt family and the League of Nations. You guys get my point. You guys get my point. But that has obviously been put on hold. Oh my God. It's been put on hold, people. It's been put on hold. Yeah, I'm sure the fucking ticket sales are fucking astronomical for this feud. People can't wait to fucking go to Ticketmaster.com and buy tickets to WWE events all around the United States to see the Wyatt family versus the League of Nations. Give me a fucking break, man. The only match I want to see is the side of my face hitting my pillow when the League of Nations is mentioned. Give me a fucking break. WWE reportedly wants to split up the League of Nations, please, and have them go their separate ways so that the feud may never ever happen to begin with. Someone is listening to my prayers at the end of the night, bro. There might be someone up there listening to me. Holy shit. It won't happen at Payback if WWE keeps the stable together. But then it could actually happen at Extreme Rules on May 22nd, which to me would make no sense. Why would Bray Wyatt return for Extreme Rules in a match, in a feud that doesn't really fucking matter to begin with, only to possibly risk more injury? Doesn't make any sense. Doesn't make any sense. Bray Wyatt returning for the pay-per-view is not out of the question. It could be pushing it, but it's not an impossibility. Now with Wyatt not out for an extended length of time, there are other feuds that he could move on to. WWE just had started building a program between him and Roman Reigns right before the injury happened. This is a program that could have a serious ramification on how things happen over the next couple of months, so WWE will likely go back to it. Listen to me now, okay? Bray Wyatt was injured a week and a half ago. There's no reason for the Wyatts to be on television. There is none. They haven't been doing anything important. Nobody really wants to see them in the roles that WWE is giving them. So why would you put Bray Wyatt in a meaningless feud? This injury is probably the best thing that happened to Bray Wyatt. He gets to sit home and rest and recuperate and regenerate and recharge his batteries. He's obviously, having a leg injury or a calf injury. That's unfortunate, but Bray Wyatt not being on TV is not going to be the end of the fucking world, okay? We have all the new guys coming up to the main roster. We got Apollo Crews, we got Baron Corbin, we got Sami Zayn, we got Kevin Owens, we got a bunch of other shit going on, okay? The Bullet Club and Finn Balor, all this Finn Balor talk is obviously overtaking the entire WWE. It's overtaking the WWE. What's going to happen at Payback with Roman Reigns? What's going to happen with AJ Styles? Who's Finn Balor going to align with? What's going to happen with this entire storyline? Having Bray Wyatt off TV is not going to matter. Because we have so much other shit right now to concentrate on and to keep our interests that by the time Bray Wyatt comes back, it'll be a pleasant surprise. 4 to 6 weeks is nothing. That's a month. That's a month. He'll be back before Money in the Bank. He could end up winning Money in the Bank. Who the fuck knows? But WWE, having so much other shit going on, you're not going to miss Bray Wyatt. Let the man get 100% better. Have him rest. That should be your top priority. You don't need this guy more injured. You don't need him coming back for Extreme Rules. You don't need to rush him back for injury. What is he rushing back to? He's rushing back to nothing. He's rushing back to a fucking feud with Rusev, Del Rio, and Sheamus. That's not something you rush someone back for. Okay? So he'll be back. Let him get right. You don't need him back on TV right now. As far as Bray Wyatt and Roman Reigns and that program having serious ramifications, listen, I am ready for a Bray Wyatt face turn. The way he made a hot tag, or the way Roman Reigns made a hot tag to Bray Wyatt, was fucking great. I wasn't ready to believe Bray Wyatt could accept a babyface role, but the way he was thriving in that role was more of like a test for WWE to test the waters with Bray Wyatt. He passed the test with flying colors. He had the mannerisms down. He was playing up to the crowd. Crowd was very, very interested to see him in this role. If there's one thing we can all agree on, is when Bray Wyatt was in that moment, people want to see him. People want to see him succeed. People know that he is underutilized and completely treated wrong on WWE TV. They want to see him in a role where they want to see him thrive. The crowd knows this guy is too popular for the roles that he's been given. He's too good for the roles that he's been given. People want to see him. Okay? That is clear. Clear as day, people want to see Bray Wyatt. And if a babyface turn is that turning point for his career in WWE, I'm all for it because I want to see him succeed. And Roman Reigns, if WWE sticks to their guns and doesn't alter what is happening with Roman Reigns, the crowd reactions, the organic, genuine reaction of hate that this man is receiving every single week, we could see a monstrous program towards the end of the year between a face Bray Wyatt and a heel Roman Reigns. This could be great. In a time when nothing happens at the end of the year, where WWE is in this I don't give a shit, time span, where nothing exciting happens, we could see a monstrous WWE title feud in the slow months towards the end of 2016 as WWE begins their reset into 2017 for the Royal Rumble and the road to WrestleMania. What a feud that would be. A face Bray Wyatt and a heel Roman Reigns? Money. Let this guy get 100%, turn him face, and let him take a fucking stab at it, man. Obviously, he passed the test a few weeks back on Monday Night Raw. I think Bray Wyatt's got big things to come when he comes back from injury, and I can't wait to see what happens. Former WWE Divas Champion Paige hasn't been heavily featured on WWE television since her feud with Charlotte a few months ago. At that time, she had turned heel and gained some significant momentum for being very blunt about the weakness in the Divas revolution, as well as her personal attacks against Charlotte. She did take some time off to heal from a serious concussion, but she's been wrestling in various matches for a few months now without much focus. At WrestleMania 32, listen to this very carefully. At WrestleMania 32, she was a part of Team Total Divas. Just keep that in mind. During the pre-show, in a match against Team Bad and Blonde, according to WrestleZone.com, Paige isn't very happy with her position in the company and recently spoke out during a Q&A at Wizard World Comic Convention in Portland, Oregon. Some of the comments she made tied to how she is featured on WWE television. For example, she claimed that she doesn't even know if her character is face or heel. Paige also said that being present backstage for Raw, she has no idea what she is even doing or even if she will be used on TV. Paige is upset with her current position in the company. What was that I told you guys to be mindful of? What did I say? She was a part of Team Total Divas. There's your problem. Paige wants to get a fucking boob job. She wants to wear all this makeup. She wants to look like fucking a diva, right? She wants to live the life of a Bella twin. Instead of concentrating on what brought Paige to the dance, now WWE has taken Paige and made her into something that she was against. They made her into a diva. Meanwhile, she was brought up to the roster as the anti-diva. Why isn't she happy with what she's doing in WWE? Because she's too busy parading around on the E! Network for a show that's probably going to be canceled in the next 2 years. WWE doesn't want to give these women their own show when they're creating total Bellas. Who gives a shit about fucking these other women on there? Who's on? I don't even know who the fuck's a Cameron, Naomi. You got Rusev's broad, right? You got Maurice coming back. Lana's there. I mean, give me a fucking break. Who cares? Who cares what these women do? Seriously. This show is a complete fucking flop ever since season 3. And I'm going to admit, I watched season 1 and season 2. Ever since season 3, this show was a fucking flop. Why they continue presenting this shit is fucking mind-numbing garbage. Paige is a failure on the main roster because she is now a diva. Instead of giving us the Paige that we all wanted when she first was brought to the main roster, winning championships on her debut Raw against AJ Lee, that's the Paige we want to see. Now, WWE is having this renaissance in the Divas division, or the women, again, the fucking Divas. Give me the fucking pillow. Please, give me NyQuil so I can fucking shut the fuck up. Keep mentioning the word diva. The women's division, now that the WWE is having a renaissance in the women's division, in which Paige was a part of, she's no Sasha, she's no Becky, she's no Charlotte, she's no Bayley. No, she's a fucking diva now. Now WWE has to rework Paige when she was one of those women. Now they got to rework her from the whole diva aspect. That's why she's not doing anything on the main roster, because WWE has now labeled her something that she is not. A diva. The anti-diva is what we want. We know Paige is talented in the ring. We know Paige wants to mingle with the Sashas and the Charlottes and the Beckys and the Baileys. Give us that Paige, and then all will be good. And you'll add another credible woman to that roster. Because right now, I don't know who the fuck we're watching on WWE television, or who we are not seeing on WWE television, I should say. But it's not Paige. It's not the Paige that we know and love, I'll tell you that. With all due respect, Jack Swagger hasn't been relevant to WWE for quite some time now. Over the last 2 years, he's been featured on Main Event or SmackDown. Last November, he's challenged Alberto Del Rio for the United States Championship in a losing effort and has been treading water ever since. The last few years of his career have been a shame because the All-American American had a successful WWE career on paper. His career, he's been U.S. Champion, he's been a United States Champion, he's been ECW Champion, he's been a Money in the Bank briefcase holder, he's been a WWE World Heavyweight Champion. Jack Swagger was never a top guy in WWE, but he was a very good wrestler who became accomplished over several years of work. It's now coming to light, I should say, that his run in WWE may be coming to an end. There is no confirmation on what Jack Swagger posted on Twitter and Instagram, but he apparently said that his last day is today, Saturday, as I record this. The best job he's ever worked for. Last day was his hashtag. He will be considered by many to be an underutilized and undervalued talent for many years in WWE. I was never the biggest fan of Jack Swagger, but my main gripe is I don't give a shit what they did with him. ECW, the fake ECW, Money in the Bank, WWE World Heavyweight Champion, United States Champion. I don't fucking care. Jack Swagger was minimally over in all those situations. What really peaked with Jack Swagger was when he was a team with Cesaro. And they had Zeb Coulter. These two guys with Zeb Coulter, and I remember it like it was fucking yesterday. These guys were over like fucking wildfire. It spread across WWE seemingly overnight. Why they broke this team up is just absolutely retarded. Cesaro was in a prime position to make himself a star in that tag team. Jack Swagger being with Cesaro and Zeb in that tag team, he was primed to be in the best spot in his career. WWE, for whatever reason, broke these guys up. And they did nothing with either one of them. Yes, Cesaro went on to team with Tyson Kidd. Yeah, I really enjoyed that team, and that team was fucking great. Really, that team was great. But Cesaro had a great team before that team was even born with Jack Swagger. They were over. And let me tell you, it was organic, it was genuine, and they went out there and they fucking beasted. This duo of Cesaro and Swagger should have been multi-time tag team champion. They should have carried that division. But WWE likes to get two guys together, see them succeed on their own, and then separate them. Because it's not what WWE wants at the time. Oh, Cesaro and Jack Swagger, they're more over than anybody else on the roster. Let's split them up. They don't deserve it. It's not what we want. We don't want to push these guys. So they split them up, break them up. Next thing you know it, Jack Swagger is not seen for over a year. Cesaro is pushed minimally here and there. He's obviously in a team with Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd goes down with injury. WWE takes Cesaro and tries to push him just a little bit, and then he gets hurt. So what did it really do? It did nothing. It did nothing for both men. Instead of having two guys on your payroll and you utilizing them to the best of their ability, you might not have something singles for these guys, but together they were fucking great. Better off to pay two guys who gel and work good together and have them thrive as a unit instead of paying them and them sitting in the back by catering, picking on fucking ham sandwiches and fucking pickles and Doritos all fucking night. Give me a break, WWE. That was one of the dumbest decisions I think I've ever seen in the last 10 years. Why you would break up a team that is so over, like Cesaro and Jack Swagger. I'll never understand it. I'll never understand it. Jack Swagger hasn't been used since. He came back to challenge Del Rio for the United States title. Why? I'm going to believe this guy is going to challenge for the United States title and it's going to make sense? I'm going to be okay with that? No, of course not. He's not over. He hasn't been seen on fucking TV for over a year. Why am I going to believe this guy's worthy of a title shot? Why am I going to be happy to see him back? He hasn't been putting anything to make me believe or get me excited. I don't understand it. Absolutely asinine by WWE. So now, if this is really his last day, good. I'm sure he'll find work somewhere else and thrive much more so than he did in WWE. But we don't have any idea what this means. It could be the last day of the fucking tour. They could be flying back to the States. I don't know. Or maybe Jack Swagger could be really done with the WWE. Obviously, I will let you guys know. If anything, follow me on Twitter, at JDfromNY206. I'm sure you guys will find out what happens with Jack Swagger very, very soon. And finally, guys, WWE teasing a big match for The Undertaker and Dean Ambrose at WrestleMania 33. Take this story with a massive grain of salt, okay? And for the goons out there, oh, JD, it didn't happen, man. You're a fake reporter, man. Take it with a grain of salt, goons, okay? I'm not Dave Meltzer, otherwise I could be. I got Dave Meltzer's fucking #1 source right here. With WrestleMania 32 over, many believe that WWE is just going to move on to planning for Payback in May, and then pay-per-view events that follow it. No shit. While some of that may be true, there is also the long-term planning starting to be put in place. Yes, WrestleMania 33 is obviously a year away, but some ideas are already in the works, and WWE is teasing some huge moments for the event, such as a fun main event and a big match for The Undertaker. The WWE website released a video on Wednesday that is pretty much nothing more than a time filler, but it does tease a few things that they want to see at WrestleMania 33 next year in Orlando. While it's true, none of this may happen, it's interesting to see what the editors want to see happen. Dean Ambrose in the main event for the WWE World Heavyweight title. At WrestleMania 32, Seth Rollins won the WWE World Heavyweight title. At WrestleMania 32, it was WrestleMania 31, I should say. Seth Rollins won the WWE World Heavyweight title. At WrestleMania 32, it was Roman Reigns who took home the belt in the main event. Now, it's just one member left of the Shield who is yet to win the big one, and that is Dean Ambrose. Could he win the title at WrestleMania 33? Please hand me a fucking noose for this next one. Oh my God. Shaquille O'Neal. Yes. Shaquille O'Neal. At WrestleMania 32, Shaq made his in-ring debut for WWE in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal and faced off with the Big Show. Since then, the two giants have traded jabs at each other and want a match next year. There's no better place than to have it that Shaq started his NBA career with the Orlando Magic. Who's excited? Please raise your hands. Just like I thought. Nobody. This one, I would hope doesn't happen because he is worth so much more than this. Shunsuke Nakamura in the Andre the Giant Memorial Battle Royal. He made his company debut at NXT TakeOver Dallas and defeated Sami Zayn in an absolutely amazing match. All in due time, Nakamura is going to be called up to the main roster and make a huge impact in WWE. But when? When that happens is still up in the air, but it could be before WrestleMania 33, and WWE editors would love to see him win the big battle royal. Yeah, because it did so much for Cesaro, right? Fuck that. Nakamura one-on-one with anybody and keep him away from the battle royal, because that means nothing for anybody. Just like Baron Corbin will prove to you, him winning that means absolutely nothing. John Cena versus The Undertaker. Vince wants this match. That is very well documented. There are rumors that The Undertaker is not going to make it another WrestleMania and that his retirement is this year. Not true. No one knows exactly what's going to happen, and the Dead Man very well could perform in Orlando for the big event next year. After all, he did defeat Shane McMahon inside Hell in a Cell to win the right to appear at another one. WWE's original plan for this year was for The Undertaker to face John Cena in a Legend versus Legend match. But Cena's injury took him out of things, and WWE went to secondary plans, a.k.a. Shane McMahon. Maybe WWE will finally be able to get that match, set it up, and make it happen. It could also end up being the final match for The Undertaker, and one that would send him out in a big way. They haven't faced each other in 10 years, and never at a WrestleMania. Women's Championship, Fatal 4-Way between the Four Horsewomen. This year's WWE's Women's Championship match was one for the ages, but WWE editors do feel it could be made slightly better. Adding in a former NXT Women's Champion, Bayley, would pit the Four Horsewomen against one another on the biggest stage ever for the ultimate prize. Who wouldn't want to see Charlotte, Becky, Sasha, and Bayley for the title? I like it. And finally, listen to this one. Why this would ever happen, I have no fucking idea. There were months and months of rumors before WrestleMania 32 that Bill Goldberg would return, be signed, and have a match at the event. That didn't happen. And Goldberg even opened up after it was over and said he didn't want to spoil things for anyone, but that he hadn't signed with the WWE. Now, is WWE saying they want him back, or do they want him at WrestleMania? I don't know. Do they want him back to face Roman Reigns? They do cite the return and success of Brock Lesnar, so anything is possible. It's not known what is going to happen at WrestleMania 33 in Orlando, even though some plans are likely already being worked out. Many changes happened to this year's event, and some in just a week or two leading up to WrestleMania 32. By the end of this, The Undertaker could retire, Dean Ambrose could win it all, or more injuries could take out main event talent, but WWE is going to find a way to make it gigantic. That was a waste of my fucking time. I like some things there. John Cena versus The Undertaker, I definitely think is happening. Fatal 4-Way match between the Four Horsewomen. I don't know anyone on this planet who wouldn't want to see that. Bill Goldberg versus Roman Reigns is merely fantasy. Nakamura, he could potentially be at WrestleMania, but if he is, keep him away from the Battle Royal. He doesn't need to win that Battle Royal to prove what he's worth to WWE. Shaq versus Big Show, please. Nike will meet to death. And Dean Ambrose in the main event for the World Heavyweight title. I don't know, man. It could be. We could see a triple threat match between Rollins, Reigns, and Ambrose for the WWE title. So that really isn't all that improbable. That could very well happen. But it's definitely nice to talk about. It's fun to speculate. And I figured I'd end this week's Off the Script with that. So that is this week's Off the Script, man. Episode number 114. Make sure you guys follow me on Twitter at JDfromNY206. Make sure you guys subscribe to the channel for more WWE news and rumors. And I will be back, as always, with Monday Night Raw review. On Monday and Friday, we will begin Payback preview and prediction. So make sure you guys tune into that next weekend. All weekend long, or all week long, I should say. I'm going to have Payback videos going up, so stay tuned to the channel for your latest and greatest Payback 2016 coverage. I'm JD. Thank you guys for watching. Have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys right back here for Monday Night Raw review. Will we see Finn Balor? Will we see the Balor Club? Only time will tell, but it's damn sure going to be exciting. I'll talk to you guys later.